All right, you good? Mm-hmm. You good? You good? You good? You good? You good?
Very good.
You good? Welcome back to this episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I am your host, Cailin Clothier, and with me is my co-host,
Dara Whitman.
All right, and we are coming back to you we are starting on the latter half of the Legend of Korra Book 2. Today we're going to cover Episode 9, The Guide, and Episode 10, A New Spiritual Age. You ready?
Yes.
Let's get started with a synopsis. All right.
Oh, wait, didn't you tell the audience something that you just said you were going to tell me?
I did. Guys, I'm terrible. Anyway, so if you're wondering, if you left a lovely comment on Twitter or on YouTube, we're going to read some of those at the end, so stay tuned because we really appreciated those. And also, just a reminder, you can leave a comment on one of our videos or tweet at us on Twitter, maybe leave us a message on Facebook. We're pretty flexible. We read all those things, and we'll read those on the show. So
reading them at the end, so you have to listen to this whole episode.
Listen to the whole episode or scrub through. Anyway, we know you kids out there. We know you crazy kids.
I do that.
So back to The Legend of Korra Book 2, where we last left off on Beginnings.
Yes.
Which was a kind of a flashback episode of sorts. Where we learned,
flashback 2 episodes.
Yes, it was a double feature, a special, where we learned about the first Avatar 1, and that kind of really set us up for the rest of the season here. So we are starting back at the Eastern Air Temple. I'm trying to remember this episode because I think the next episode was a lot more interesting. Let's be honest here. It was. Oh, and so, okay. I was wondering this. This is on a more meta note. This episode was animated by Studio Pierrot, which is the not good studio. So Beginnings was animated by Studio Mir. This episode was animated by Studio Pierrot, which I'm not sure if you ever noticed the difference between like the animation style in this show.
I don't.
Okay, I do. I think somebody left a comment saying, "Hey, they changed the animation," and I would like this person to know. I know. Dara didn't notice, but I know.
Listen, I'm not that into like I like my live action stuff. I don't pay attention that much to animation. I like this show, but
yeah. Well, you focus more on the what's going on than how it looks.
This is true.
Yes. All right. So we're back at the Eastern Air Temple here, and we see Jinora. We're going to talk about Jinora a lot in these next 2 episodes.
She does a lot.
Really, yeah, she does a lot, and she's playing with some. It looks like some spirits, some dragonfly bunnies, and she has one that she names Furryfoot. And Tenzin starts talking to her, and so we learn that she is the only one right now who can see these spirits.
Correct.
Which is kind of important, and we'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
And so, so Jinora can see these spirits, and she's watching them and laughing, but nobody else can see them. So they're just like hanging out at the temple, having a good time. And then who shows up? Korra shows up.
Hooray!
What? This is a little confusing for the people who are at the Air Temple. I thought you were like training with this Unalaq guy. You're gonna learn some spirit stuff.
I thought they were gonna be like, it's all confusing for us, and I'm like, not really. Like, no.
Well, last time we saw Korra, she had amnesia, and then she got it back, and then
So I'm like, why wouldn't you go to Tenzin?
Yeah. And so she's like, hey, and Tenzin's like, hey, why aren't you in the Southern Water Tribe doing that thing that you're doing when we last left off? And Korra's like, you guys don't know? You don't know all the stuff that happened?
But why would you think that they knew?
Yeah, they're pretty off the grid here.
Exactly.
Well, also,
they don't have cell phones.
Big news, though. You'd think some news we got. By the way, there was a Civil War. Just low-key Civil War. Not that big of a deal.
Captain America was not there.
But Unalaq was there, and he's... just, by the way...
We opened up a spirit portal.
Terrible guy.
Just
terrible dude. And she's like, hey,
hashtag
bad dude. There's a Civil War.
No, I was about to say hashtag fuck Tonrak.
Wait, why? Why are we... Why hashtag...
Did I get his name wrong?
Tonrak's her dad.
Oh, then who's...
Unalaq. I was like, why would Tonrak do? What did I miss?
Hashtag fuck Unalaq. Sorry, everybody. My bad.
Whoopsie daisy.
I get. You know me. I get names confused often.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. They're brothers, so it's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, one's evil.
And so Korra's like, hey, and the spear portal thing. wasn't actually a good idea. Bad idea.
Yeah.
So I met the first avatar.
Yep.
His name's Juan.
He's got great hair.
Yeah, and so they have to
We gotta close it.
we gotta close this spirit
We
portal.
also gotta get into the spirit world to close it.
You have to get
into the spirit world to close the spirit portal. You can't just like go back to the spirit portal and close it like the way that they did it the first time.
Guess not. I don't really know how it works. I'm not an expert on spiritual matters here, folks. And so Tenzin is like, "Aw, snap! We gotta close the portal."
I'm surprised Tenzin didn't freak out as much as I thought he would.
Tenzin's kind of like, "I knew this would happen." Everyone's like, "How do you didn't know this would happen?"
You did not know that there was going to be a freaking civil war.
I know there was a civil war
and a possible war between good and chaos.
Yeah,
And like the end of the
Pretty
world.
sure he did not know what this harmonic convergence thing was.
Well, no, he probably knew what it was. He just didn't know. He just figured like what are the possibilities that a spirit portal is going to be opened up, and then what's the chaos spirit name? Vatu. See, I'm not good with names.
It's okay. That's why I'm here.
And then Vatu would be able to be released and then bring chaos.
And so Tenzin says we have to go into the spirit world.
Da-na-na-na.
And so we're gonna flash back to a subplot here. And so we're gonna go back to the South Pole for a minute, where Desna, Eska, and Unalak are entering the Southern Spirit Portal, and Unalak's like, "Yo, we're gonna open this Northern Portal."
Oh yeah, I hate this scene. I hate it.
And so they're like, how the heck are we going to do that? His kids are like, "Dad, this seems like a bad idea." And so he's like, no. See, if you enter through the spirit portal, you can bend, which is different because every time we've been in the spirit portal, in The Last Airbender and in this series, although we haven't really been much in the spirit portal in this series, but any time that they've entered the spirit world, you can't bend.
Yes.
You straight up just cannot bend. But if you enter through the spirit portal, you can bend the heck out of stuff.
Okay.
So Unalak starts bending water at the northern portal, trying to open it. And he's like, "Hey, kids, help me out here." And so then they start... I like your face right now. And so they start, like, bashing this thing with water. The portal doesn't like that. It's like, nah, man. So it just electrically shocks. It just sends a big old beam of purple lightning or whatever, hits Desna, and Eska's like, "Yo, this guy needs help." And then Unalak's like, "Yo, I don't care. This is more important." So, Father of the Year. What are your thoughts here? You look like you have some thoughts.
I
Please
hate
share.
this scene.
Why do you hate this scene?
Okay.
Please share.
Unalak, besides being evil, and as we see later on, more evil than we actually thought.
Yes.
Very much more evil.
Very much more evil.
Than we thought.
Yes.
Seems like a probably smart guy.
Yes.
I mean, look, he convinced his brother that he, brought chaos to his, to the Northern Water Tribe and had to be exiled. Mm-hmm. He seems like a smart guy.
Yeah.
Like a really smart guy. He probably knows, a shit ton about spirits.
Yes.
What the fuck would make you think that you can open up a goddamn spirit portal with water?
Why not? You don't
with just water.
Okay, well, the important thing here is you never know until you try.
With just water.
Well, you never know until you try.
With just water.
All right, I see your point. That's a very good point. Well, he tried, and that's
he couldn't even open up the first one, and he had to get an avatar to do it.
True.
What made you think you could open up this one with water? I'm good.
Okay. You okay? You okay? So
I didn't mind this episode, but this was just stupid.
Unalak is
and you could say
for the course.
You could say he's desperate, but
yes,
even then,
I would say he's desperate.
No, but I feel like if you were desperate, you would do what he do in the next episode.
Okay.
That seems like a smart, desperate thing to do.
Yeah, that was he was a little more smarter,
but he still did the dumb thing.
He's still an idiot.
I hope nothing else. I hope the next couple scenes are nothing that I don't dislike.
Speaking of things that you don't like, we're going back to Republic City, and we're going back to your favorite subplot, Nuktuk.
Anyway,
so back in Republic City, Bolin is hanging upside down because they just finished a scene for the upcoming Nuktuk Mover. So after they finish the scene and then everyone goes on break, except nobody manages to get Bolin down. He's still hanging upside down. He made a really funny comment in the commentary.
Here's my other funny comment. I hope the blood rushes to his brain, and then maybe he'll get some sense back.
Oh, yeah.
The other one was murder, but that's besides the point.
Well, when in doubt, murder. So as Bolin's hanging there, Asami comes and she's like, hey, Varric invited me to come watch some of the filming. So are you filming right now? And Bolin's like, no.
I feel like with Bolin, if it was like he had to get down for lunch, I feel like he would have actually tried harder to get down.
The dude's a bender. You think he'd be able to get some?
Yeah, what the heck? I don't know what he was like hanging by, and
he could have done it.
He needs like earth to technically, but
he's a strong boy. He could have done it.
What the heck? Bolin, what happened to you?
Then Mako shows up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party right now, and then Mako's like, "Hey guys, I figured it out. Varric was the one who did the raid on the Future Industries warehouse, and he's doing this all to benefit his own business."
By the way, I didn't mind this at all. Like he was telling Asami and Bolin this.
Yeah, well, I thought it was interesting that he would do it like in like the vicinity of like Varric's stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
On the movie set that he was like, being produced by Varric, like, why wouldn't you just like go back to like your house or your apartment?
Well,
or
because they're not
a third party kind of location.
Yeah, I just didn't mind that he was telling Asami and Bolin because he trusts them.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And like he's friendly with Asami again.
Well, friendly,
maybe too friendly.
That's understating it a little bit there because Asami like super touchy, and like Bolin's like, wait. Are you two dating again? And they say, nah. No,
they are.
They basically are.
That's a bit.
Bolin points out that Korra only left like a week ago. That's kind of a fast turnaround time.
Yeah, like I didn't mind them like when they like just like because I remember like the episodes before beginning they like had a little smooch.
Yeah, they did a little smooch,
and you could buy that as like. Them like especially with Asami because Asami's the one who like pulled into it.
She was like very like
she was vulnerable at the time.
Very vulnerable.
So like I kind of understood. Like I understood like why she would do something like that, and then kind of be like maybe this is the right thing, and then there could have been like a whole like conflict like will they won't they thing for a little bit, and like Mako being like no, but like what if I like kind of like the same thing that happened in book one, but like maybe different because like and maybe better. But no, they're just back together.
Mm-hmm. They're just yeah. Yeah, that's a thing.
So as we concluded, like Team Avatar, everybody's being a jerk.
Everybody's just being a jerk because they like everybody's being a jerk.
Even Asami's being a jerk.
Yeah, Asami, you gotta think about you gotta think about this here. Like your boy Mako, right? Your boy Mako like just got out of a relationship like a week ago, and you're jumping back on that train.
Also,
you can.
Like I admit, like Asami's being a jerk at this point, but also she can do way better than Mako.
Oh, honey, you can do so much better.
Also, speaking of Mako. I kind of want to say this about him.
Yes.
Is it like sad he's like the only one who isn't bothering me right now? Like out of Team Avatar.
Yeah.
Not like I mean Korra's fine, like that whole thing, but like out of Team Avatar,
yeah.
He's kind of the only one who's like logically thinking.
Well, yeah, because he's like all ready to solve the case and stuff.
Actually has some character development.
Yeah.
And it's not that even that broody anymore.
Is he?
I was thinking he's less broody.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean character development. He's more like solving a mystery. I'm not sure his character's really developed.
I like Sherlock Mako.
Sherlock Mako.
Hashtag Sherlock Mako.
Hashtag Sherlock Mako.
That's my job.
We're just like a hashtag factory. Just listen to our show and
anyway,
we'll give you
back
about
to the
20
plot.
hashtags by the end. So Mako comes clean about everything that Varric has done, says, I know this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. But Asami and Bolin are like, what? Like, I don't know. He like saved my company, like made me into a mover star. Like, I'm not really, they're not like 100% jumping on board.
I kind of get that because like, honestly, like he doesn't actually have any like evidence. I mean, he probably has evidence, but like he doesn't have any evidence like with him.
He didn't really catch him red-handed yet. So Mako is kind of annoyed. He storms off, but then Varric's guards get to him before he leaves. And so then we go back to the Eastern Air Temple.
Didn't we have that meeting before?
That happens after.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I'm going very chronologically right now. So back at the temple, we kind of get a it's just like a series, like not a montage even. It's just kind of like a series where they're trying to meditate so they can get into the spirit world. Also Tenzin mentions that Eastern Temple is where Aang met Guru Patik, which is a callback to The Last Airbender. If you remember the chakra guy. Chakra eyes, chakra eyes.
I remember that episode, besides like the cabbage banana thing, that episode.
Pretty sure it was onion and banana.
Onion banana?
Onion banana
I thought it
juice.
was cabbage. Maybe it's because...
No, it's onion and banana juice.
Okay.
You're thinking of the cabbage guy.
Yeah.
My cabbages.
I think I just like that episode just because like there's like a lot of like romantic feelings, and I'm just like all emotional and made me sad and happy.
Just a good. The end of book 2 was so good in Avatar: Last Airbender.
It was good.
You can't really top book 2.
I don't know, book 3.
Book 3 was really good.
Yeah.
Book 2 was my personal favorite book.
Okay.
But back to The Legend of Korra. So they're trying to get into the spirit world. It's not really working. They do some like very traditional, like they have like the weird wind instrument, like the bell. Not really working.
No.
And then so they try again. They're trying different locations that they think are more spiritual all throughout the air temple. And they try again, and it's not really working. And Tenzin keeps blaming me on different things. The first time he's like, Amelia, you're not ringing the bell right. Or Kaya, there's too much smoke.
Korra, you're talking.
Yeah, so, but I feel like Tenzin isn't really addressing the real problem here.
He's not.
He's not addressing the real problem, which is... I'm screwing because I like literally don't remember like anything in this episode because it's just like such a forgettable episode.
It's an episode.
It's just like such a forgettable
We'll get to
episode.
that with final thoughts.
Yeah. No, yeah, we will. So, and then as they're trying these things, we see Janor is communicating again with the dragonfly bunny spirits as they're
No,
flying
you didn't
around.
mention the twist.
Well, no, that comes after.
No, does it?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like jumping around because it's like super weird and I forget how it happens.
Okay.
I have so much editing to do on this episode.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. So they go to another location underneath a large sculpture of Avatar Yang Chen. Mm-hmm. Cool chick. Tenzin urges Korra to focus on the energy of the universe, and he's like, "Hey, you're talking too much." And Korra's like, "Hey, what's going on? Nothing's feeling right." And Tenzin is like, "By the way, never actually been to the spirit world."
What a twist!
What a twist! And like everyone like so surprised, and we're like, "Oh yeah." It doesn't
seem like something to be twist worthy.
No, not really. Because I don't know. Like because I think especially because in Avatar: The Last Airbender, nobody really went to the spirit world. The spirit world wasn't a thing that a lot of people went. It was really just Aang was the only person, and like Iroh, it was something Iroh had done off screen that was like briefly mentioned, but besides that, like nobody went into the spirit world unless they were like forcibly taken, like in that one episode, which was a really good episode.
That narrows it down.
Okay, what was that episode? It was the one with Hey Bye.
What, the panda?
The panda. Yeah, I forget what that episode was called. Oh,
that was in season 1, right?
It was it was book 1.
Okay,
where Hey Bye was. All the people.
You took somebody. Who knows?
The forest or something.
What?
Damn.
I'm
really blanking it today,
keep
guys.
talking. I will.
I know. So yeah, Tenzin like gives us this plot twist of like he's never been to the spirit world, which we really aren't surprised about because nobody really goes into the spirit world, especially before this book. Even in book 1, spirit world barely ever mentioned. I don't think it was ever mentioned as something people went to. So Tenzin is kind of ashamed of that because he's like, I tried so hard, and just being the son of Aang, and a spiritual leader, being an airbender.
Oh, I found that episode.
Oh, what was it called?
Well, Winter Solstice Part 1.
The Winter Solstice,
the
yes.
Spirit World.
Guys, I am a bad Avatar fan.
And,
I used to know like all the episodes off the top of my head.
And just in case you're wondering, the monster captures Sokka.
Yes, he does, and that's when we learn. That
Question.
no bathrooms in the spirit world.
Question.
Yes.
What could it become for next episode?
Yeah, we're gonna. I know what you're gonna ask. We're gonna touch on that next episode. And so Boomy makes a remark that he welcomes Tenzin to the I Disappoint Dad Club, and I got really sad because Boomy just wants to impress his dad, guys, but his dad is dead.
I'm pretty sure that Aang liked Boomy a bit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because if you think about it,
yeah,
Boomy has a lot of Aang's personality.
Yeah. So, and then Kaya speaks up, and she's like, "Hey, Janor, is there something you want to tell us? I noticed something." I noticed something earlier back there. You want to, and Jinora is like, it reveals that she's very connected with the spirits. She's able to reveal the Dragonfly Bunny spirits to everyone. And everyone's like, oh shit.
It turns out she's like connected to the spirit world because she just is.
She just is. And she's like, well, since when? And she's like,
I thought
just whenever.
I thought because she saw that statue, that would have like connected her.
Yeah, it would have been like a trigger for something.
I thought that was like the thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Why wasn't that? Whatever. Anyway.
Whatever. This, I feel like they're just very like lackadaisical kind of explanations in this episode. Anyway. And so Jinora is, so back in the spirit world, Desmond and Eska are like, yo, you're not going to be able to,
Yeah, but
never mind. We already talked about this part.
Yeah, we did.
Shit. Whatever.
I already went on my rant. I don't feel like going on any more rants.
Yep. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to edit this episode so much. I'm gonna kill myself. All right. So now we're back in Republic City, and Mako is taken to Varric. And
there's a firebed.
Yeah, it's got some foot fungus. And so Varric says that, hey, I heard the stuff you've been saying about me and all the stuff that I did. And Mako's like, hey, whatever you do, you can't get me to talk. I'm not going to talk. And Varric's like, no. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not going to torture you or anything.
Because that'd be dumb.
Yeah, be stupid. So I'm going to offer you a job. You can be like head of my security. And Mako is like, why the hell would I want to do that? I'm a police officer. Like, I already got a job. And Varric is like, no. You want to be able to protect your brother and your
lady friend.
We're not really sure what the relationship is there, but your lady friend. You want to be able to protect them. You know, get it? Wink, 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 wink. I'm threatening you. I'm threatening them.
Yes.
All right.
I don't think Mako got that.
No, he got it, but I think Mako was smart and stupid enough to be like, no, they can take care of themselves.
I feel like a smart thing would. I get that. Can Balin really take care of himself? I mean, we've seen.
Oh, that's a great question.
Asami can take care of herself.
She can.
Because, like, besides her couple jerk moments, she's a lovely lady.
She's a wonderful woman.
But, like, because, like, I was thinking, like, oh, yeah, because, like, for some reason I thought that, like, Varric was being an idiot, and then it turns out he wasn't. So I'm like...
No, he's very smart. He
very
acts
smart.
like an idiot, but he's a very smart character.
Because I was like, Mako, take the job, and then just, like, be a double agent.
Yeah.
And then, like clearly, like, he's threatening, like, Balin and Asami, which, like... That would actually, like, I feel like that would trick, like, if he's like, I'm gonna, like, do a stunt with Balin, and look, there's a bunch of piranhas, or, like, piranha sharks.
We're gonna capture it on film.
And Mako, if you don't, like, do this for me, I can just drop him, do something. I don't, like, because, like, even if Mako's not getting along with his brother, it's still his brother.
The stunning conclusion to the Nektuk series, Bolin dies. But no, Mako is like, nah, like, I'm not going to take you up on that offer, screw you, and then he leaves.
Peace.
So back in the Eastern Air Temple, they follow the spirits down to what they think is a more spiritual location so they can get into the spirit portal. They have to spiritually cleanse the area or whatever. And then a bunch of dark spirits pop out. And then Korra does the spirit bending thing, and they all come. They're like, "Wow, great,
hooray!"
Like, wow, Unalaq really did teach you something. I'm like, did he actually teach her that? I thought she just kind of
he showed her, and then probably like something like
maybe something off screen.
Sure, why not?
All right,
this episode's almost over. Let's just get.
Yeah, and then Korra explains that the Avatar is part spirit because of the whole Rava doohickey. Gosh, I'm really blowing through this because I don't care.
We also have one more scene in Republic City.
Oh yeah, I know that
I feel like it's a bit important.
Yep, I know that.
And annoying.
I like scrolled past like 3 paragraphs of synopsis to get to this. And so back in Republic City, Asami goes to Mako's apartment and just to like check in on him, and she's like, "Hey, let's just take that off. We can like go on a date. I want to go to Krong's Cuisine. Remember our first date? Like we're totally not dating right now."
Yeah, come like and like Bullets are. It's totally been a week.
It's been like a week. Girl,
granted, like I'm pretty sure Mako only waited like a day before he got with Korra after.
Yeah, honestly.
You know what I thought about? Like, I just thought about this with Asami. No, wait, never mind. It doesn't work.
What?
Because I was gonna say, like, I pretty much think, like, oh, she's probably not in a great place emotionally because of like, all her stuff being taken. But then, you know, Varric bought her out, so she seems like she's in a
better place.
She's in a better place. Yeah. But like, clearly, I think the fact that like she immediately went back with this guy, who basically left her for the Avatar.
Yeah.
I don't think she's in a great emotional state, guys.
Yeah, Asami, honey, you just gotta take some time for yourself.
Take some time for yourself.
You gotta figure out. You gotta realize that you are a strong and independent woman, beautiful lady who deserves so much better.
Go to a racetrack, drive some cars around.
Yeah. Oh,
let off some steam.
Yeah.
Mako, go back to being a detective.
Mako, just do your thing. Everybody just needs to stay single for a little bit.
Yes.
Anyway, and so like they're talking about like a kiss, and then they kiss too. Like they're smitten.
It's like a full on makeout.
It was. They were going at it. And then but they're interrupted. Chief Beifong stops by with those two dumb detectives that nobody likes. They're not even funny, stupid. They're just jerks.
Yes.
Remember those guys?
Yes.
Lu and Gong. So it turns out that the Triple Threats ID'd Mako as an accomplice, and Mako's like, well, yeah, I hired him for a sting operation. Sorry about that. So,
but you know, good for him for telling the truth.
But the Triple Threats also said that Mako helped them raid the Future Industries warehouse.
Which is not true. But she still wants to follow up on it. And they start searching through the apartment, and they find a pile of money and explosives that Mako did not have before. He never had these things in his apartment. And they are like, oh, this obviously puts you at the scene of the crime, so they arrest him. And then, like, Asami's like, what? This is a misunderstanding. And Mako is like, Asami, I would never do anything to hurt you. And I was like, Mako, that's all you do. I would never do anything to hurt you except leave you for the Avatar.
Remember all those things that I did in the past that probably hurt you? I mean, like, I wouldn't do any of those things now, right?
No, but I was also thinking, like, they found, like, all that evidence, and basically that meant, like, he would hurt Asami. No, Rose, I didn't take the heart of the sea. I didn't do it. I know I'm not as good looking as Leonardo DiCaprio, but who is?
Oh my god. So poor choice of words, Mako. I think I have to find, there's a video somebody made where they like, Mako says that and they like cut together all the scenes where Mako totally screws Asami over. So good.
You remember? Yeah.
I have to find it.
Anyway, so Mako's going to jail.
And that's where we leave off on the Republic City folks for a while.
You know what I just figured out? Like, Tenzin goes on one vacation, and everything
falls apart.
Everything just goes to shit.
All right, the moral of the story is here.
Tenzin can never go on a vacation.
Tenzin cannot even sleep because things just keep falling apart. Jesus. Okay. So back in the Eastern Air Temple, Tenzin is pretty pissed that he can't enter the spirit world. And Kaya's like, yo, Tenzin, not your job. Let Jinora take this one. She's like 12, right? Hold on. Nah, I have it right here.
I said, because I thought she was about 10.
I thought she was 12.
I thought she was 10.
Oh, no, she's 11.
I was right.
Oh, you were right. All right. She was 10 in book 1, 11 books 2 and 3. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
Anyway, I'm gonna get the part out. So it's like it's Jinora's job, and then finally, like Tenzin agrees that he's like, all right, maybe I'm not gonna be this most spiritual dude, but so Jinora, Korra, you go to the spirit world, like we'll hear and watch your bodies, so you know nothing happens to them.
Yes,
and then they go to the spirit world. Cool.
And
well. One more thing.
What?
So back in where the spirit portals are, Unalaq talks to Vaatu, and he's like, sorry, I thought the Avatar was dead, but Vaatu's like, nah, still alive, bro. Vaatu says that he has a connection with Rava, and so he like feels her presence, and Unalaq is like, cool, I'm gonna go find the Avatar now. And then Vaatu's like, hey, she's in the spirit world now. And Unalaq's like, oh, yeah.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. And that's where we end that episode. God, how long did we record that for? Jesus. Okay.
I feel like you're going to be cutting a lot.
I'm going to be cutting so much of that. I'm going to cut like 10 minutes of this thing out.
But like you were right. Just like...
Yeah. So what'd you think about this episode, the guide?
It exists.
It exists. Yeah, it's a thing. I feel like it's a very much like a bridge episode to get from one part to the other.
But it was pretty boring.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of there's like some like good episodes and then either like the rest of them are just like bad or like whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel like this episode was just like, we have to get to the spirit world. How do we do it? And that's all this episode really did for us. And also, I thought the Republic City stuff was way more interesting, actually, with Mako trying to figure out the thing and
they're always. Being Varric. I mean, if we're not dealing with like Mako and Bolin, it's always more interesting.
Yeah, and I think Republic City stuff was more interesting. The like spirit world stuff, like how to happen. And that's all the thoughts I had on this episode. It was pretty. There was nothing really nothing that stood out about this episode.
No, not at all.
Besides Mako's line.
And my water rant.
And your water rant. I appreciate the water rant. That was really good. So that looks like that wraps up for all our thoughts on Book 2, Episode 9, The Guide. When we come back, we're going to talk about Episode 10, A New Spiritual Age. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So now we are continuing on with Legend of Korra Book 2, Episode 10, A New Spiritual Age. Woo! All right, so where we left off on the last episode, Korra and Jinora had just entered the spirit world. And so this is really interesting. This is our kind of... Oh, and I was talking a little bit before about episode animation. The episode animation actually switches on this episode. So now Studio Mirror is doing this episode... I think they do. They do it for the rest of the series.
Through animation studios,
and
between episodes.
I know, it's weird, but we're back with Studio Mirror, which is my personal favorite animation studio for this series. So I'm pretty excited, and I think that's how we stay for the rest of the series. Anyway, so in the spirit world, we see Korra and Jinora come to, and they start kind of exploring the spirit world. This is really the first kind of look that we have. At the spirit world, kind of in this day and age. We saw some of it, or kind of how it blended with the material world back in Beginnings, and that had its own interesting style. But this is really the first time we've seen this spirit world in this series being like the spirit world. So what were your thoughts on that?
It looked pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It has a very like vast and expansive kind of feel. It's almost kind of dreamlike how it works and how things kind of like blend with each other, and like the perspective of certain things get distorted. It has like a very kind of dream-like and surreal feel to it, which I think is really interesting. It's very bright and colorful, which is interesting to me as well, because the last time that we saw the spirit world in Avatar: The Last Airbender, do you remember it was the book 1 finale when Aang goes into the spirit world? It had a very kind of swampy, kind of like dark kind of feel to it. So this is a way different kind of feel. That one had a very closed feel, like you felt like you were very kind of closed off from things. There were a lot of trees. It was very crowded, and this is very open, very green, very lush. So it's a really interesting comparison.
So clearly nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong except for
everything.
Except like 30 seconds off the bat, Janora's like, "Look, a pretty butterfly," and she like runs off, and Korra's like, "Hey, wait, get back here."
She gets attacked by lemurs or meerkats.
Some meerkats are pretty unimpressed that the Avatar's in the spirit world. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing in these parts?" And she's like, Avatar. They're like, we don't really care.
It's been like 10,000 years. They've probably seen plenty of them.
Yeah, they're like, all right, we get it. The Avatar stops by. It's fine. Korra gets kind of pissed, and she tries to bend at them without realizing that you cannot bend in the spirit world
if you don't go through
the spirit portal.
Yes.
And so the spirits get kind of pissed, and they start attacking her because her negative energy is really upsetting the spirits. And so Jinora comes back to help her, and then they are suddenly underwater.
There's just like this whole like run of like spirits trying to attack them, and then being in water and then being separated, and then the plot happens.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, like this whole, like, act, it was kind of like an action scene. Like, it looked good, but I'm just kind of like,
it's kind of trippy.
It's a bit
in
trippy.
a way. Because it does have a very dreamlike feel. You know, when you're in a dream and then you suddenly end up somewhere where you weren't before, and it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. It really has that same kind of feel, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Makes it a little hard to follow at times because you're not quite sure how one thing gets to another thing. So at the end of this whole sequence, they are separated.
Yes.
So Korra is in kind of like a forest.
Creepy
Jinora
forest.
is just
Outside.
out in the open. And they're trying to find each other, but it doesn't work. And Korra looks a little different here. How does she look different?
Oh, right, I forgot. Her hair's a bit shorter.
Yeah, her hair's just like a little bit shorter.
Oh, right, she's a kid.
Yeah,
She's a baby.
she is a 4-year-old now.
For some reason.
Some reason. I think it's because it's kind of like we have this recurring theme in the spirit world of like emotions and feelings really shape how things look. So Korra being very scared and not knowing a lot transforms her back into her 4-year-old self. So she accidentally hurts a dragon bird spirit and injures it, and then she feels sorry, so she picks it up. And then an old man, just passing by, decides to help her out a little. And something about this guy's a little familiar. Maybe we've seen this guy before. Maybe he's a familiar kind of face. Do you remember this guy, Dara?
No.
All right, well that solves that. That's all.
I'm kidding. I know. It's Iroh.
It's Iroh. Iroh shows up. Iroh's in the spirit world.
Question.
Yes.
I thought the voice actor was dead.
Well, okay, yeah. No, this is the voice actor for Iroh passed away during book 2. And so book 3 was a different voice actor. This is the same voice actor for book 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what's his name? So the original voice actor for Iroh was Mako Iwamatsu.
So they just got another Mako?
Also, no, the original voice actor for Mako in book 1 and 2 was Mako Iwamatsu, which is the character Mako in this series is named for. But Greg Baldwin voiced him in both book 3 of Avatar: Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra.
Okay.
So that's who this is. But yeah, Iroh shows up, and we're like,
hooray!
Okay, Iroh, it's surprising to see you there in the spirit world. Didn't think you were around these parts. But he leads Korra out of the forest and then takes her to a nice, very Alice in Wonderland-esque kind of tea party.
Yes.
It was very.
I liked it. It was cute.
It was very cute. Yeah. Yeah. It's a tea party to honor the marriage of these 2 frog spirits, and Iroh offers Korra tea from a familiar teapot that we saw in Beginnings. It was a teapot that was
I totally forgot about the teapot, honestly.
Yeah. It was the teapot that was used to carry Rava when she was shrinking because she was using power. So that's just kind of a nice callback to that. So we go back to where Jinora is. Jinora has been kind of wandering around, trying to find Korra. She finds the dragonfly bunny spirit, Furryfoot, except he's a lot bigger now. His real form in the spirit world is like 7 feet tall. And so Jinora's like, hey, can you please take me to the spirit portals? Do you know where they are? And the dragonfly bunny takes her, and they start flying, and they find a familiar location, which is Wan Shitong's library. Yes. This part really gets me excited. So we find this library is completely submerged in the spirit world. If you remember, it's interesting because it's kind of hanging from like the ceiling of the spirit world, because originally it was in the physical world. It was in that desert that we saw in Avatar: Last Airbender in the episode the library. Very aptly named. And then at the end of that episode, we remember that Wan Shitong was like, oh no, screw this. And then he took the entire library back into the spirit world. So now it's completely submerged in the spirit world. Jinora goes in, and it looks exactly like we saw it in Avatar: Last Airbender, which is so cool to me. And we see Wan Shi Tong, who is this giant owl spirit. Jinora is like, makes like an offhanded comment, like she could spend the rest of her life there. And Wan Shi Tong is like, the last person who did that is still here. And we get one of my favorite shots in the series. This is actually one of my favorite shots because it's so dark and creepy and scary. And it's just like a second. So it's one of my favorite shots in the series. We see Professor Zay, who was the professor that accompanied Aang and the gang back in the library episode because he was looking for this library.
Yes.
And at the end of that, he didn't want to escape with them. He wanted to stay in there. And we see him almost in the same position that we left him in that show. And he's there, but he is dead.
Very dead.
He's dead, and he's decayed. The dude is straight up decayed.
I mean, it's been like, what, like 70 years?
Yes. And so the shot, like, I don't know, it's hard for me to describe, but the first time I saw that, I was so like blown away by it because it's so cool. It's just one of those like really little things that get you. And also I'm like, did we really just show like a decaying body on a kid's show?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Granted, we also saw on the show like murder-suicide.
Yeah.
With explosions.
Yeah, explosions.
Yes.
People died.
So.
A lot of people died.
Yes.
A lot of casualties
yes.
in the show. But yeah, so that's... So honestly, when I saw Wan Shi Tong in the thumbnail, like as we were about to play this episode, that was the part I got excited about. Just that one single shot. Anyway, so Wan Shi Tong is like, "Yo, girl, get out of my library." And Jinora's like, "Nah, can I stay? Can I just like please?" And I'll tell you something. I'll offer some wisdom in exchange for some time. And Wan Shi Tong's like, "Nah, brah. Like, I know everything." And then she's like, "Well, do you know how a radio works?" And he's like, "Obviously, there's like a little man in a box, and he plays music."
Yeah.
And then Jinora goes on a very a nice Bill Nye-esque kind of explanation of how a radio works. And
yes.
so she gets to earn some time
in the library.
Yeah, and she also remarks that she is a descendant of the Avatar, and he's like, "Oh, cool, that's great. You can stay all you want," which is a little surprising to me because last time the Avatar was in the library, Wan Shi Tong got kind of pissed. He was a little pissed about all of the things that went down.
Yes, but like considering what happens later.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Well, right now it's a little surprising.
Right now it's a little surprising, but like if you think about what happens later,
yeah,
you're like...
Yeah, well then it makes sense. Jinora gets some help from one of the knowledge seekers, little foxy helpers,
yes.
to learn a little bit more about where the spirit portals are and the tree of time, which is where Vatu is trapped. And we learn that the tree that if the portals are open during harmonic convergence, Vatu is going to be able to break free, and they're going to have to fight and stuff. And it's a bad idea.
Very bad idea. Terrible idea.
Yeah. Don't open those spirit portals.
Probably also close the one that's already opened.
Yeah, we should definitely go back and close those things because we don't want that to go down because it's going to be a bad time. Just a bad time for everyone. But as soon as she learns this, and she's like, "Yo, I have to go tell Korra because this is like super important information." Wan Shi Tong shows up with a friend. And who's this friend? It's our favorite antagonist, Unalaq.
Yeah, I want to figure out a name for him, like we did with Congressman Dickbag.
Yeah, Senator Dickbag.
Councilman
Dickbag.
What's a good name for Unalaq?
I don't know. He doesn't really have like what's his deal? He's just like
he's a douche.
The douche.
Douche nozzle.
Douche nozzle. All right, so our
King douche nozzle.
King. Oh, Chief because
Chief douche nozzle.
Chief douche nozzle. I love this. Okay, that's another hashtag for the books.
Hashtag Chief douche nozzle.
Chief douche nozzle. So our favorite antagonist, Chief douche nozzle, shows up, and he's like, "Hey, Jinora, hey, you want to? Shame Tenzin's not here. You want to come see Vatu?"
I keep thinking, like, I'm just like, Jinora, can you just, like, run?
Just run, yeah. She's not bending, though, so she's kind of at a disadvantage.
But she knows a bit about the spirit world.
Yeah. But her good friend Furryfoot becomes a dark spirit.
Yeah.
And traps her.
Yeah.
So back at the tea shop, Iroh talks about how he came to the spirit world. So this is something I know we wanted to talk about when we were kind of watching the episode. So what happened with Iroh is that when he was kind of approaching the end of his life, he was just like, and he's like, you know what I like? I like the spirit world. I think I'm going to go there now. So he kind of ascended out of his body, and his spirit joined the spirit world. It's important to note, I feel like a lot of fans kind of confuse these two, but the spirit world is not the afterlife.
Okay.
The spirit world is not the afterlife. People can become spirits, or they can use their spiritual forms to join the spirit world, but that is not a very common thing to do. And we don't really know much about the afterlife in Avatar. It's not a topic that's touched upon. It's kind of a weird topic for any show to touch upon. But the afterlife does not equivalent to the spirit world. So, because I think you asked a question, what were you going to ask?
I mean, I was going to ask, are we going to see any more people who might have joined the spirit world?
No. Just no. It's a very uncommon thing to do. And really, if we remember back to Avatar: Last Airbender, Iroh was one of the few characters who was actually in the spirit world. He took a journey to the spirit world. I think it was after his son died, to learn more about spirits, or I guess try to find his son or whatever. But... yeah, so it's very uncommon for people to have that kind of connection with the spirit world. So Iroh is kind of an interesting case, very uncommon.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. I was reading a interview with some of the creators before, and they were talking about how Iroh becomes a spirit, and they say, there's multiple spirits that like started off as like people who just came to the spirit world.
Yeah.
But over time they kind of became more like spirit-like and less kind of human-esque. So in theory, like centuries and centuries down the line, his spirit is going to become less looking like Iroh and more like an abstract kind of spirit. So yeah.
Which you're probably never going to see, but oh well.
We probably won't see, but like imagine, he's probably going to be like a nice tea spirit, so he's probably going to look like, I don't know, some kind of tea guy. I bet. That's my guess.
Okay.
But yeah, so
and we don't see anybody else.
And we really don't, I'm trying to think, but no.
Hashtag more Sokka.
Hashtag more Sokka. If anybody's listening to this who works on some of the Avatar comics, maybe, you want to put in some more Sokka?
You could think of so many good backstories.
Sokka
probably had a great relationship.
Sokka's adult life is probably super interesting.
He might.
And I want to learn more about it.
Apparently, he doesn't have any kids. I guess.
Apparently, yeah. That it's so vague. And please just.
He probably had a great relationship with Boomy.
I know. Like think of like the uncle nephew relationship there, and I'm getting very emotional because it doesn't exist.
And probably Kaya confused him a bit. Like. Like with the way, like her hippiness. Yeah. It would have confused people.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I feel like Sokka wouldn't get hippiness.
It's like the uncle on Thanksgiving is like, I don't get you crazy kids. So back to the story. So as Iroh and Korra are talking, Korra gets really upset. She's still a 4-year-old, so she's acting very much like a 4-year-old.
No, she's acting like Korra.
She's acting true. True, which is acting like a 4-year-old. So Korra is really upset that she lost Jinora, and she gets super sad, and the environment around her starts to change. Like the clouds expand, get dark, and the spirits start becoming darker. And Iroh says, "Your energy influences other spirits," and she's like, "Oh, snap! Did I do that?" Because as her kind of position as a bridge between the two worlds, her emotions have the ability to alter kind of the reality and channel darkness. And so she's asked, "Hey, I just want to go save my friend." I was like, "Hey, you should go
up the scary mountain.
Yeah, you should take this bird friend you got here, take him up to his home
in the scary
mountain." And she's like, "Can you go with me?" And he's like, "Nah, girl, no, I'm not going with you." He's like, "I'm too old for this shit. I'm already dead." Like,
which is why he could have gone with her, because he's already dead.
He don't got time for that. He don't got time for that. He got a tea party to get to. He had a whole tea party.
I get that. I wouldn't go up to the scary mountain.
He don't got to do nothing.
I mean, he could help.
So Iroh takes her to like the foot of the mountain, and he's like,
"Have fun, kid."
And he's like, he's like, "Hey, stop by again sometime, even in another life."
Sorry, the thing fell.
Okay, you're good. Let's come stop by again, even another life. And Korra Korra's like, have fun. Like, remember, you got light inside of you. Good job, girl.
Which is the point. Okay, continue.
And she's like, I got light inside of me. It's like this tiny little child is like walking up this dangerous mountain. And she sees a trio of dark spirits guarding the way up the mountain. They're in the style of the food dog.
Okay.
You remember the food dog, which is like a Chinese, pretty sure it's the food dog.
Okay.
It's like ancient, like kind of like a Chinese kind of guardian-esque thing. And I hope I got that right, or else it's gonna be really embarrassing.
Yeah.
And so Korra's like, hey, I bet you're not so bad, even though you're dark. I bet you're really nice. We can be friends. And so the spirits turn back into not dark spirits, and they help her get up the mountain. And she is able to return the dragon bird to its nest, where there's 3 other little babies, and then they all like converge, and they make a beautiful giant dragon.
Hooray!
Very pretty.
That'll come up later.
And then after doing that, Korra returns to her adult form, her late teenage form, and her modern day form, and gets on the back of the spirit. And she's like, hey, can you take me to the spirit portals? And the spirit's like, hell yeah. And they go off to the spirit portals. So at the spirit portal, Korra
was about to, I think she's like there, and she's like, okay, I can close it.
Yeah, she's like there, and she's ready to close the portal.
You were
and
like,
Batu is like, hey, girl.
You were like, she should like go up to Batu and just be like, fuck off, yeah.
I didn't say that, but I meant it.
Yeah, but I would have been like, maybe close the portal and then do that.
That's true. We got to really think about our priorities here. I was just like, hey, maybe Korra, you should go say hi to Batu. I mean, I'm sure, it's been like 10,000 years. You guys haven't seen each other in a while. Just say hi, ask how you doing. What's it like being trapped in a giant tree? I'm really curious to know.
You get a lot of syrup.
Yeah. I bet, being in a tree for 10,000 years, you have a very lucrative syrup business. I'm sure you can really export to all those, Anyway, Batu is like, hey, and starts doing his, like, villainous monologue thing. I don't even know what he says.
Who knows?
He even makes a note here. They don't even say it in the synopsis, because nobody cares. He's just doing his Batu thing. But what the important part is, Unalaq shows up, and he's like, hey, Korra, you should open the other portal. And she's like, no, why would I do that? Because Janora's here, and she's captive, and I got her, and if you don't open the spirit portal, she's a goner. Just do it right now.
Yes.
Korra's like,
is it like what? They just like turn into like a purple statue?
I don't know. It's kind of vague, but I assume, it's not the best ending. Probably death. Probably death. Probably just like eliminating her spirit, which would mean she would just like die.
Okay.
And Korra is like, hey, Unalaq, Chief douche nozzle. You're a jerk for deceiving me, and I can't believe you made me think that you want to balance the spirits. And then Unalaq's like, yeah, you don't know, kid. You don't get it. So Janora is like, no, don't do it. And Korra's like, yeah, I'll do it. So Korra opens the other spirit portal, and then Unalaq attacks Korra. And he's like, hey, if you wanted to stay a bender, you should have just gone through the spirit portal. But now you can't bend, so I'm going to attack you.
Granted, you were at the spirit portal, so and also did Korra know that she could have her powers if
I don't think so. I'm going to guess she didn't know that.
I mean, I feel like it would have been...
Because she didn't know she couldn't bend in the first place. So she didn't know that there's a difference between...
I feel like it would have been a risk to go through the spirit portal, though, considering, who's there.
Yeah, because it's the South Pole. They're, right there.
Yeah, that would have been a giant risk. And also, yeah, I'm about to say something else, but that doesn't actually make sense.
So, and also... Well, no, then if she went into the spirit portal and she closed it, she'd be trapped in there. But if she meditated to get in the spirit world, then her body is still out there.
True.
So, so she couldn't have done that anyway. We figured it out. Kids, we figured out how spirits work.
Suck it, Chief Douche Nozzle.
Suck it. So there's a fight scene, and they fight. Korra almost loses and gets her spirit all purpleized, but the bird comes in and saves her, the big dragon friend, and takes her away. And then Korra comes back into the physical world.
Yeah, she does.
And Tenzin is like, yo, what happened? And Korra's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Because by the way,
Janora, still still in the spirit world. She
Yes.
got taken away. And she's there, and she's not back in her
She's
physical
kind
body.
of like in a coma.
She's kind of basically in a coma, basically in a weird spirit coma.
And
Tenzin is not very happy, and Tenzin.
I did kind of like in the beginning because like at first he just seemed like upset that like his daughter could do this and he couldn't, and then later on like he was upset about what he should be like, which is this is probably a very dangerous place, and I just let my 11-year-old child go in.
Whoopsie daisy.
And now she's in a coma.
Now she's in a coma. Father of the year.
Will she get out? Probably.
Will she get out? Who knows?
Probably.
Even though I just said that in book 3 she was a certain age. Anyway.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Confirmed. Confirmed. Okay. Well, that's where we leave off with our poor small child in the spirit coma.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this episode?
I liked it better than the last one, but I'm still kind of like it existed.
Yeah.
Not as much as the last one. So, like, there was some cool stuff. I liked the Iroh being there.
Yeah.
That made me happy. Iroh's just, like, I want to be like Iroh. Just, like, just chilling, have a nice tea shop. Now I want some tea. Tea's good.
We just want some tea.
Although it's summer, so maybe like iced tea. So, who knows? Yeah, I mean, I liked all the spirit stuff.
Yeah.
That looked pretty good. We didn't actually go to Republic City at all, which was nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a switch.
I think like they probably realized like all the stuff they're doing in Republic City, like nobody gave a crap about, or we just hated,
right?
And like we haven't really had much like Team Avatar stuff.
No, we really this whole book, everyone has been separated. There's been very few moments. Probably you can count the number of scenes on a single hand when everyone on Team Avatar has been together.
You know what I also love? Like, there's all the stuff with, like, Team Avatar and Republic City and, like, Varric, like, the fact that, like, Mako's arrested.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, like, as of, like, now, none of that shit matters.
Nope. Because we have harmonic convergence.
We have that coming on.
Yep.
What's this evil thing you're forgetting? Batu. Batu is probably going to come out, kill all y'all.
All y'all.
So I wouldn't love this. It'd make me really furious if like Korra comes back to Republic City and it's like, guys, like we need to do this, and everybody's like, well, we got all this other shit to worry about, and then she should just say, fuck you. We have this. We're gonna have a big battle between good and evil. I feel like that's more important than than your stupid movie, whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind the Tommy stuff and everything.
I think that's kind of one of my bigger problems with this season. I want to touch more about this in the finale because that's when everything's going to come together.
No, finale.
In the season finale.
Yeah.
About how I think at just like the like priorities and like where the plot kind of ends up like in this season, it's kind of all over the place, really. And like where like what makes for a more interesting plot, what makes for a more interesting conflict, I think it gets really skewed in this season, which is why some of the more main plot stuff is really kind of uninteresting to me. But yeah, that's it. And I can't really make that point until at the end of the season because that's when, everything happens and I can touch on more specific examples there. So this is interesting kind of watching this re-unfold and kind of, I feel definitely very similar to how I felt in regards to plot, how I did when I first watched this series.
Yes.
I feel a little bit different more on the characters because I remember when I first watched book 2 when it first came out, I was a little more annoyed about some of the characters and the characterization. But now they're like, it's not as bad. I'm still more focused on the shortcomings of plot than I am the shortcomings of character, which is interesting. I think because I can look at it from an overall standpoint, and I look at it more as how characters develop over the course of 4 seasons rather than how they're developing at the moment, which is why I can kind of excuse a little more. But the plot still, because in Legend of Korra, as opposed to Avatar: Last Airbender, plot is very, like, the main conflicts are focused on each season has its own conflict instead of overarching like it is on Avatar: Last Airbender. So then it's a little more self-contained, which you can still see all the same problems when you go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Because nothing really changes than when you first watched it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does.
Cool. Yeah, so do you have any other thoughts?
No, I mean, like I said, it existed. I'm kind of, like I said, like this, like, I think my biggest problem, like, with the season, like, it's either, like, pissed me off or it's just kind of boring, or with the beginning, it's good.
Yeah.
So I just hope either it gets better or at least, like, they get to like a reasonable conclusion, and then we can just like go to season 3 and be happy.
Yeah, season 3. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, good.
So I don't want to give anything away, but yeah. So the things I really did like about these episodes, more so the latter episode, because I thought episode 9 was really boring.
Not that much Republic City.
Yeah, not that much Republic City. I don't mind the Republic City stuff, actually. Like, I kind of like what those characters are doing in the long run. I just like those characters.
I like what Mako's doing.
Yeah, Mako's plot, it's so funny, because I absolutely, like, despise Mako as a character.
I don't, especially, like, with this season, I don't despise him.
Yeah. No, I like can tolerate him a lot more now, and I think it's because I kind of know where his character ends up, and so I think when you're originally watching it, I said this before, like you don't know where the character's going, so you kind of like expect the worst almost. But Mako's character I can tolerate a lot more now, so that's why I actually kind of am interested in his kind of plot this time around, his like detective work, figuring stuff out. It's actually a lot. I can watch it a lot more.
Yeah, and if he needs a girlfriend, if Sokka and Tsuki had a kid, I feel like that would work out. Come on, think.
Everybody's married. Yeah, everybody.
What the heck? Like, I'm pretty sure Sokka probably married Tsuki.
Yeah, they ever actually confirmed that?
But they were a couple.
Yeah, no. I think everybody just assumes, but I don't remember that ever actually.
Why are we not giving? Come on.
No, Sokka's backstory is so like. They're so blasé on it, and so I hope that means something really cool happened. Anyway, but like more on this note, yeah, the stuff that really stood out to me in this episode, I loved all the callback stuff to Avatar. The library, I talked about like for 5 minutes about the Professor Zay thing because I still think that's the coolest thing. Iroh came back. It was really interesting because I never know how to feel about Iroh coming back, because when I first saw it, it seemed to be kind of like more like what's the word, like not fan service, but kind of like, it's like, oh yeah, you guys like Iroh a lot, so let's just bring Iroh back for the
Here's my opinion.
Yeah.
If an Avatar needed a spiritual guide and you wanted to bring in somebody from the previous series,
yeah,
like Iroh makes the most sense.
Iroh would be like the perfect.
It makes the most like,
yeah,
like literally like I don't think you could do anybody else.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it wouldn't. And like if they did do like Sokka or Zuko or something like that.
Yeah.
You would have been like, that's fan service.
Yeah, well, Sokka definitely, because Sokka was not a spiritual person, like, at all.
Even Zuko, I know Zuko, like, did some, but it wouldn't make that much sense.
Wouldn't make as much sense. But yeah,
Iroh makes the most sense.
The best, yeah. Yeah, so that's a little more, watching it again, I'm still kind of split between it, but yeah, I definitely agree his character makes the most sense. For anybody to come back as, like, a spiritual guide, it would definitely be him.
Yes.
But yeah, but I never know, like, when they bring back things from the old series, you always hope it's, like, you know, it makes sense and not just doing it to make fans happy. So yeah, but the stuff I definitely liked most about this episode was stuff that called back to Avatar: Last Airbender. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna hold that thought actually until the end of the season.
Okay.
About something that I really wanted to see in the season that I didn't get to see, in relation to some of the references back to the old series. But yeah, all right. Any other?
Not on the episode,
thoughts?
no.
Okay, cool. Well, I think it's getting to be around that time where we get to do something really exciting.
Yeah.
We get to read some
comments. We don't have a name for this. Do we have a name for this section?
It's the comment corner.
Hooray!
Yay. I'm pretty sure everyone's probably
we got actually good amount. We have a good amount.
Yeah, we have a good amount. But we
probably shouldn't read all of them because we need some further episodes.
No. Yeah. So I have a couple here that I want to read out. So this one. So if you don't hear your comment here and you know you commented, just keep listening to the other episodes. I think I'm just going to
do like one or two.
Yeah, I'm going to reply on your comments on YouTube and Twitter if we use it, and I'll just tell you which episode that we talk about your comment in.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, so just so you guys know. So this comment comes to us. I'm going to do the one from our Book 2 episodes 1 and 2 episode. So this is from Anime Hunter.
Hello.
Hi, Anime Hunter. How's it going? Thank you for the comment. So your comment was, there's a bit of info regarding Kaya, but I'd rather hold off. If you are going to read the comment coming out July 26th, I actually think they pushed the comics back to first week of August. And before I forgot, nice work on the podcast. And it should be noted they use a different animation studio for book 2. And about everybody getting together, you don't know the half of it.
I don't. I asked you about that on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I think they were referring to what happened in the Sting about the Mako and Asami kind of getting back together. I think this is what they talked to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what they were talking about. So thank you for the comment, Anime Hunter. Thank you for your comments on our podcast. Dara doesn't know. Dara probably has no idea what you're talking about Kaya, because it wasn't something that happens actually in the series. This is something the creators talked about. But I am so excited to see it because I accidentally got like a sneak peek of the. I'm trying to avoid spoilers on the comic, but I got kind of a sneak peek on it just the other day. I think they're going to touch upon it, and I'm actually super excited because that's a whole other kind of realm of stuff that I'm really looking forward to them exploring in the comics that they couldn't explore in the show. So I know what you're talking about, and I'm very excited. And also, I think the comics got pushed back to early August, but either way. So excited. I mean,
granted, like July 26th, early August, that's not much of a.
For me, though, it's a lot because I've been waiting for these comics for like 3 years.
No, I get that, but like it's not like we pushed it back from like July 26th to like December.
Yeah. So thank you for the comment. It's a really great comment, and I will leave a comment when we put this episode out so we know that we talked about it. So thank you. Do you have any comments that you want to?
Well, I kind of want to talk about. I forget what episode it was. But there was one involving something we're going to do.
I thought we were just going to... Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I think I was going to say that on the episode that we actually do that for, which is the finale.
Yeah, okay, that works.
So, yeah. Do you want to talk about the tweet? Our tweet that we love?
Sure. We got a tweet.
This is from @BadgerTrout, who added us on Twitter and who said their name on there is Nees, Nees, and they are from Finland, I believe, if I read correctly. So the tweet says, @WittyClose, I just listened to the latest LOK podcast. Just wanted to say that you're really funny and entertaining. # most firebenders.
Yay, the hashtag is trending.
The hashtag, it's on its way to trending.
Hooray!
So thank you so much, Badger Trout. We really appreciated the tweet. We're really excited when somebody uses one of our many hashtags that we come up with on the show, especially most firebenders, because I think that's the one that we're trying to get to really catch on.
I just thought it was funny.
So thank you for the compliment. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the follow as well.
Yeah, so that's the end of Comment Corner for this episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I think we've said this before, we record multiple episodes at a time. So if it might be a few weeks until you hear your comment. So do not dismay. Like I said before, I'll either tweet at you or comment if we use it in an episode, so then you can go and listen to everything that we have to say. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and keep commenting.
Yeah, we love reading your comments. It's really cool. Also, try if you feel like it, leave us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, because right now we don't really have any ratings.
We don't really have any ratings or reviews on iTunes. You can leave a positive comment, negative comment. We don't care. We just like seeing things roll in. But we have been doing pretty good with comments on YouTube, and we got some tweets at us, so we're really excited. Do all that stuff, and then hopefully we'll become more popular and be able to. Yeah.
Go to the Philly Pod Convention, whatever.
Yeah, Philly Podfest is going on this weekend, and there's some people there, so we'd really like to go next year, because that sounds like a lot of fun.
So if you're listening.
Hey,
also, I'll say it, because I feel like this episode's going on too long, so I'll say it in the next episode.
Okay, no problem. But if you're listening to this and you're like, I kind of want to tweet at you, I kind of want to leave a comment, I kind of want to, like you guys on Facebook, and you're wondering, how do I do this?
Actually give us some money and support us on Patreon.
Hey, that too. So you can follow us at Twitter @WittyClose. Follow us on Facebook. Give us a like at WittyClose Productions. Email us if you feel like it. That's Gmail. wittyclose@gmail.com. You can follow us on Patreon too. That's also at WittyClose. Be sure to subscribe and leave us some comments and likes on YouTube. We're under Woody Close Productions if you're not listening to us on there. And then subscribe to us on iTunes. We're Woody Close Productions. So that would be pretty swell.
Also, just because we tried a new podcast recently where we got a bit inebriated.
Yeah.
And did it was a random episode with our good friend Erica. And we got a bit, I would not say drunk. I'd say tipsy.
We were kind of tipsy. We were kind of buzzed.
Yeah, and it was pretty loud in a random episode. And if you guys like that, let us know if we should keep doing them or never do them again.
Yeah, we appreciate feedback either way, as long as it's constructive.
We like the constructive stuff. Give us reasons if you don't like us, and we can maybe improve and be friends.
Yay, friendship.
Yay.
All right, so that's all the time we have on this episode of First Reaction, Fan Reaction. Join us next time as we are talking Legend of Korra Book 2. We're getting close to the end of this thing with episode 11, Night of a Thousand Stars, and episode 12, Harmonic Convergence. So I am your host, Cailin Clothier. With me is my co-host.
I'm Dara Whitman.
Peace.
Peace.